posting your content. Okay, now it's time for me to go ahead and actually create a page and show you how I do that. So this is definitely something you want to check out. So let's start just by going to Squidoo, and you want to click on create a new lens, and you're taken to this first step here. We have to decide what our lens is going to be about. This is going to be the title of our lens. So if the keyword phrase that I'm optimizing for is dog training in Chicago, I want to make sure that that appears in this title. Of course, it doesn't need to be the only title. In fact, chances are somebody already used that title because that's a somewhat popular keyword phrase. So let's say dog training in Chicago. Where are the best places to go? How's that? Okay, go to step number 2. Okay, what's your goal for this page? And again, this is just how you do it on Squidoo. Now, if you're following along and you go to Hub Pages, you're going to notice that it's a bit different, but the general gist is the same. I typically go ahead and just hit I just want to do my own thing. That's going to give me the most control over this creation process, but you can, again, kind of check it out. Now, next it's time to, of course, we can change the title if we want, but we want to go ahead and pick the URL, which will be the actual web address of this page. So there's a couple different ways you can go about this. You can just have it be the words that you have up there, dog training in Chicago, and so forth, or you can go ahead and have hyphens in between them. Some people like hyphens, some people don't. I really haven't seen a difference either way. The only problem is going to be if this page already exists, it's not going to let me create a second one, of course, by the same name. Hopefully it's unique, though. It probably is. Pick a category for the lens. Okay, well, let's see here. Animals and nature. Okay, what's your lens rated? This is going to be rated G. No curse words here. Okay, now we want to come up with some keywords that are in this lens here. Of course, dog training in Chicago is the big one. But let's go ahead and add some variations. Chicago dog training. Chicago puppy training. How about that? Okay, now we need to prove that we are not a robot, which of course I'm not. And hit done. It'll take us to the next step. Okay. The next thing we can do here is go ahead and create our introduction to the lens. I usually go ahead and do something like I use the keyword phrase again, dog training in Chicago, and then write introduction. Then I go ahead and just type, something again where I talk about what this lens is going to do to kind of give people an introduction. It's kind of like if you picked up a book and you just start to read the beginning, it usually starts with an introduction. Okay, and again, I'm doing this quickly, but just to give you an example, I wrote, this lens will explore dog training in Chicago and where the best places are to go. So again, you can see right there's my keyword phrase. Now, if I wanted to, I could go ahead and emphasize this keyword phrase by bolding it. To bold it, I simply enter this code to start the bold and then to end the bold. Now, I would suggest that you go ahead and find a photo and also upload it here. I'm going to skip that step, but pretend I have a photo here. You can understand it's definitely going to look nicer. And you can see there I have my keyword phrase bolded. Okay, the next step is going to be to actually add some components to this page. Now this can be a little bit confusing for people that never use Squidoo. What I want to do is add modules. I'm going to hit that. And you can see here there are a lot of different ways that I can put things on my site. I want to start with a simple text module, meaning that I want to write an article about this information. So I went ahead and added that. You've added text write module. Yes, I certainly have. Okay, and right here it is. So I'm going to go ahead and edit that, and this will be where I have a chance to write, a lot about my subject. So again, as a title, I'm going to go ahead again and make sure that I have dog training in Chicago in there, and then maybe I can have something like where is the best place to go? And this here, this is where I'm going to actually have my article, where my purpose is going to be to convince people, obviously, that dog training is, of course, important, and also that they need to come to me, or maybe if I'm doing, work for someone else, why they need to go to, my client. Okay, you can see here that I went ahead and added some content here. Of course, if this was a real page, I would suggest, having, at least 250 words in this content here, treating it kind of like if you were doing article marketing. Just because it's going to make it meatier, have a lot more to it. You can have it be as long as you want. I wouldn't suggest making it super long because the time that it takes to create, a 1,000-page article could have been spent, creating two 500-page articles. Then you would have had 2 pages rather than 1. But essentially, I have some text here. Let's pretend that it's a lot longer. And I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to emphasize. There I say dog training. So that's, that's a good chance to bold it and also italicize it. So I'll add the closing tags. And right here is where I'm going to go ahead and create a link to the place that I'm promoting. So, like I show you in the book, ahref equals, and then your link. I'm just going to link to Google for right now. And then I close the link there. Okay, so let's go ahead and see what that looks like. Okay, you can see that I have dog training is italicized and bolded, and then this is a link that will direct you to Google. Okay, so now of course we have our introduction and we have the article, where we try to upsell. Just to note, you can also do things like pull pictures into here, all kinds of different tricks. I'm going to encourage you, as you work with each individual Parasite host, to learn more about them and go to. They usually have forums where you can, learn things from other users. They have guides, just ways that you can learn how to do tricks. Then once you know how to work around one of them really well, chances are those skills will apply to the other hosts as well, because they're all similar yet different. But one thing that you want to do is not have your lens be boring. I can tell you, if you just have your lens look like this, there's a chance that it's going to get deleted because you want your lens to have more content. Well, fortunately, we can go through and we can create the content pretty quickly. Go down here to add modules, and we can go ahead and add some other things. RSS feed, if you ever worked with those before, that's an easy way to get content that's going to update daily. I'm going to go ahead and add one of those. I could add a poll. I could add a guest book. I can even add things where I would be selling things, like eBay. Okay, let's go ahead and save that. And let me show you what it looks like now. I should have all these different modules on the page that I can go ahead and edit individually. I can add an RSS feed. If you're not sure how to do that, again, you can go to the internet and do a search for that. In the book, I give a couple more hints about that as well, as far as how you can set your own feed up there. Poll module, of course, you can go in here and create it. So if I had a site that was on dog training, I could do something like, let's see here, does your dog listen? And then, of course, you can imagine if you're reading this page here, and you've come to it because your dog isn't listening. If you see this poll, you might say to yourself, "Heck yeah, he doesn't listen." So I can kind of be fun with this. He never listens. Or maybe, help. I need dog training help. I'm at wit's end. Or I could have, my dog is an angel. And then hit save, and I just made a poll. You can see here, and of course, again, it's going to encourage people to interact with you, which is certainly a good thing. Guest book, people can sign their name on the page. You can edit the options there. And also eBay, let me just show you quick how this works too. This is really cool, and again, a lot of this you kind of learn as you go, but I could have things like, say, dog training in Chicago. I'm using my keyword phrase there. Items on eBay. And then you can add your description there if you want to. I go down here, let eBay pick dog training. What this is going to do is it's going to go ahead and pull up items from eBay related to dog training. Okay, so I went through there pretty quick. And of course, if you already had your content created for you, this would be even quicker. And I just go ahead and hit publish. And my page is going to be put live on Squidoo's site. Let's take a look at the finished example. So that's it. Your page should now be live on the internet, and before you know it, you'll be getting lots of visitors and hopefully lots of sales as well. So that's how you go ahead and take your content and turn it into a real live post. Again, you'll find some additional tidbits in the book that accompanies these videos, and just again, to show you some things that you can do to spruce up your pages. Of course, in the video you saw me use Squidoo to create a page, but it really isn't that different to use Blogger or WordPress or Hub Pages. It just, again, the central concept here is that you want to make sure that you are pushing what you want to push. If you're trying to get someone to buy a product that's on dog training, write in your article why the product is helpful to them. Again, you really speak to them. So again, that's how you do it. I'll see you in the next video. We'll talk about taking all this to the next level.